For several years, India has been one of the key countries at the World Economic Forum in Davos. Several countries around the world have been interested in the India story. They've been looking at possible investments in India. They've been looking at sectors in the Indian economy which are exciting. Has there been any fundamental change this year? Remember, there are global headwinds to contend with, not just for India, but for several countries around the world. Joining us now, Mr. N.K. Singh, Chairperson of the Finance Commission of India. Thanks, sir, very much for being with us. There are global headwinds this year. Inflationary pressures exist not just in India but around the world. Fuel security is a huge concern. Food security is a huge problem. With that in the background, why does the world still consider India a viable investment destination?
For three reasons. First and foremost, the fact that we have managed the pandemic with remarkable alacrity and success. And this the world recognizes, that we have many a lesson to teach on how to manage a complex pandemic situation.
Right.
Second, I think that the continuation of the economic reform process, that using the challenge of the pandemic as an opportunity for reiterating and reinvigorating the India reform story with some important audacious decisions which have been contained. Third, a rare symmetry between sensible macro policies, a combination of fiscal policies with supporting monetary policies.
Right.
Few countries have been able to manage
Right.
a fiscal policy which does not really blow up the top and increase fiscal deficits beyond the thing, yet provide immediate relief to the pandemic victims, combining with modest inflation and an accommodative
Sure.
policies at the monetary side.
Right. At the same time, sir, there has been concern about polarization in India, religious polarization in India. There are laws, for example, in Karnataka which have taken place, the anti-conversion law and the like. Does this affect the international image of India?
Well, I mean, very frankly, you are in Davos. I don't get the impression that in the number of people who have met me, this has been at all on their psyche. I think a lot of this could be anecdotal, which is being exaggerated, because the India's economic story remains an exceedingly robust one of how the growth opportunity, propelled by a leadership which is stable, propelled by a leadership which believes in ingenuity and innovation, is going to catapult us to our growth potential.
Right. One of the decisions taken recently has been to cut the excise in diesel and petrol. Do you believe it's now up to states to do what the centre has done, to a certain extent at least?
Of course, by all means. And having chaired the 15th Finance Commission, I say with responsibility that the centre has done what the centre is expected to do. In fact, to some extent, if you ask me, the finance minister has gone a step further, that the entire burden of this will now be borne by the central exchequer, notwithstanding its fiscal consequences and the management of fiscal deficit. I think that the state should play ball and play what would be a responsible conduct on their part.
Right. This is a question that does come up. You know, the average savings rate in banks is 5%. Inflation is now at 8% in the country. The markets are absolutely in the red. The rupee is sinking. In an environment like this, where does the common person put their money? How are they secure?
So in my view, I think that the management of the inflationary scenario really must be looked at from 2 points of view, from the viewpoint of demand and from the viewpoint of supply. From the viewpoint of supply, everything is being done by way of fertilizer subsidy, by continuation of the enhanced food distribution program, by really ameliorating the impact of the fuel and other prices by the recent action. These are all to increase the consumption and the purchasing power of an average Indian, coupled with a monetary policy which has shown first signs of the fact that the monetary policy cannot be as accommodative as it has been during the pandemic, and hopefully the symmetry between sensible monetary and fiscal policy will see us through.
Mr. Singh, thank you very much for speaking to us. Thanks very much indeed, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.